This is Debbie Jones with another just-in-time video. This video is about using the text tool in the Promethean ActivInspire software. So I have my toolbar here on the right-hand side, and I'm going to move down for a T for text. Anytime you want to put new text on the flip chart, you will use the T. Remember, it's just for new text. If text already is on the flip chart, you would not use this tool. So when I click on the text tool, up at the top you'll see that my toolbar is very much like Microsoft Office used to be. Here I can choose any font that I want to choose, and the nice thing about this, it even shows me what the font will look like beside it. Then I have my font size. And if I don't see the size that I want, I can actually highlight that number and type in any number that I choose. This is going to make text larger. I can increase the font size. This little T is for decreasing the font size. This would be bold, italic, underline. This is my superscript and my subscript. This is my text color. If I choose to not only have a text color, but I would like a color behind my text, that's what this next one is for. Now when it has the X, there would be no background color. But if I click on that, you see I have all these colors that I could choose from, including white. Or I could go to the spectrum of colors and choose a color from here. I could also use the little dropper, and if I had a graphic in my flip chart, I could choose a color from the graphic by just clicking the eyedropper on the color that I want. So let's go ahead and put some text in, and I can kind of show you how these things work. Now right now nothing has been typed, but it says type here. That is choosing the last font size that I used and the last font that I used, which was Comic Sans size 48. If I would like to choose a different font, I'm going to go ahead, and you can see if I don't go ahead and click it, if I click once on that, it comes out with type here. So if that happens to you, you can go ahead and highlight that whole thing, or you can click in here and this symbol allows you to select all, and I can begin to type again. Usually new folks, when they start using Promethean Planet and they try to use the text tool, will click and they'll end up with this type here all over their flip chart. So just know that you can change that. I could delete it hitting the delete key, but I'm just going to change it and say this is my text. And the other thing I want to show you is, notice my text box is kind of small, so I can decide to make this larger, and see how that little dot gets yellow. Once I choose to make it larger, then if I continue to type, it's going to text wrap. Okay, I can again change the size of this to be whatever I'd like it to be. I can choose to have all my text left aligned, center aligned, or I can choose to have it right aligned. I'm going to go back to center aligned. I could choose to make my line spacing larger, or I could choose to make it smaller, or I can choose to increase or decrease the indent. If I wanted to, I could also have bullets. And I have a choice of circles, filled squares. It's very similar to the way Microsoft Office has worked. I can also choose to use an on-board keyboard. So if I click on this, I will end up getting a little keyboard here. You can move it wherever you want. When you want to move a keyboard, you want to find an area where there are no letters. So you're not actually clicking on a letter, you're moving the keyboard. On the keyboard, I'm again going to an area that does not have a letter on it, and I'm going to right click on that to show you my options of keyboards. Now this is a small adult keyboard called a QWERTY keyboard. The reason it's called that is see the QWERTY, QWERTY. So this is a small QWERTY keyboard, and this would be the next size for the adult or QWERTY keyboard. If I right click, You'll note that there is a blue and yellow one. This is for primary use. And the difference between it, this is not a QWERTY keyboard. This one is in alphabetical order. So if students are used to a regular keyboard, a QWERTY keyboard, they're going to be hunting all over for the letters because they're not used to looking for them in alphabetical order. If I right click again, I can get to the large primary version of the keyboard. To close the keyboard, I can click on the door to get rid of it. To get back to my keyboard, it's back up here. This is the on-screen keyboard, and it will come up with the keyboard that you chose last. Whatever you had before you closed the keyboard, that's what it will pop up with. I'm going to right-click on here, and I'm going to go back to the large QWERTY or the large adult keyboard, because there's a couple things on this keyboard I'd like to show you. If you go over and you click on the function button here, you'll get different functions up at the top. Click on it once again and they disappear. If you click on the S here and you teach languages, you may find this to be very helpful for the phonetics in teaching another language. Okay, and you click it again and you get more symbols. So each time you click that S, you get a different keyboard set. All right, so I'm going to close the keyboard for right now. What the keyboard does, by the way, if I were going to write something on here and I didn't want to go to the keyboard on my laptop, and because I'm standing up at the board, then all I'd have to do is go up here and type by tapping on the letter that I would want to put in here, and I just put that T back. I'm going to erase the T, go back, and click on the T again. So that's how you do it. Okay, the X closes it, or if you have the primary one, the door will close it. Okay, we've chosen to go over all of these icons up here at the top. I am going to go through and say, I'm going to select all and just show you a background here just to give you an idea what it does. Let me choose a blue background here. Click out in the open so that you can see it. That's the background color. Again, my text is now gone. I don't see it anymore. If I want to get it back, there's several ways I could get it. One is to click on the select arrow and click on this to bring up my marquee select, and you'll note that there's an ABC here. So if I click on that, that would allow me to edit the text. You'll see that I have all my little icons up here at the top. I'm going to click out away in the white area here, because another way to do that would be, instead of just clicking on the A, if I double click on the text, it also brings up my text icons. So that's how you're going to work with the T, the text tool, and how you can change all the different options using that tool.